Hi, welcome to Virtually Sunday. My name is Tony Pickler, Mission Outreach Director for Resurrection Parish in Green Bay. To celebrate the Labor Day weekend, our family gathered once again at our family cottage in central Wisconsin last weekend. On a morning walk through the countryside of Taylor County, I noticed a sheep farm. This hadn't always been a sheep farm, but the farmer must have traded in his cows for sheep. What struck me as I watched the dozen or so sheep that were grazing in the pasture was this: 11 of the sheep were walking in a straight line, following a lead sheep. But one just stopped and looked at me. I'm sure he was wondering what this guy in a red St. John's University sweatshirt was doing near his territory. He just seemed curious. But the interesting thing about this is that the rest of the sheep just kept walking, leaving this lone sheep to himself. This reminded me of a quote from Howard Thurman that I read recently. Thurman was a prolific theologian in the 20th century and served as a close friend and theologian and advisor to Martin Luther King Jr. Thurman takes the perspective of the sheep as he wrote, "A sheep was enjoying his grass, and then when he started feeling chilly, he didn't recall, but the only thing that he remembers is that suddenly he became aware that he was cold. And there was a throwback in his mind, and he realized that he had been cold for some time. But the grass was good. Then he looked around and he discovered that he was alone, that everybody had gone. That is, that all the sheep had gone, and he began crying aloud. And then the shepherd, who had many sheep, missed him when he got back to the fold, and he left his 99 to try to find the sheep that was lost." And Jesus says, God is like that. Nothing heavy and theological about that. Very little that is dogmatic technically about it. Just that here is a shepherd who loves his sheep, and one of the sheep is doing the most natural thing in the world, and that is to eat the grass. Did it with such enthusiasm and over a time interval of such duration that he didn't know when the shepherd called and he was lost. And why was he lost? He was lost because he was out of touch with the group that sustained him, the group that fed him, that gave him a sense that he counted. That's all. And as soon as he was out there alone, he said, I'm just here by myself. Nothing but me in all of this. And I want to feel that I count with the others. There's a certain warmth in that. There's a certain something that is creative and redemptive about the sense of community, about the fellowship. Close quote. Those last words of Howard Thurman's ring so true as we listen to Luke's gospel this week. And we are mindful that the parables of Jesus, while giving us a glimpse into God and what the reign of God is all about, also tell us much about ourselves. This is why Jesus used such common, ordinary examples, at least to a first century person in the Near East. And in this gospel passage, Luke presents a triple feature of sorts, just like the old drive-in movies. In the first story, a shepherd has 100 sheep, but one gets lost. The shepherd leaves the 99 and searches for the one lost sheep until he finds it. In the second feature, a woman has 10 coins, but she loses one and only has 9 left. She searches high and low for the lost coin until she finds it. And once she does, the woman throws a party for the neighbors to help her rejoice. And finally, in the final feature, we have the famous parable of the prodigal son. The youngest son in the family asks his father for his inheritance, a sure slap in the face of the old man. The young guy then goes off to foreign lands, squandering all of the money, and gets lost in this lifestyle. He decides to suck up his pride and return to his family, intending to ask the father to forgive him. But the twist in the plot is that the father doesn't wait for the youngest son to return. He runs toward the youngest son, embraces him, and throws a party for him and his friends. But the eldest son is lost in a way as well. He gets a little high and mighty by questioning the treatment of this punk kid brother of his, when he himself obeyed all of the household rules and stayed true to the family's honor. Where was his party? Why not a fatted animal for him? What do we do this weekend with all of these stories of loss? First of all, we're mindful that it's the 21st anniversary of the World Trade Towers and Pentagon terrorist attacks on September 11th, 2001. Remember those days that followed? People flocked to churches. They opened their hearts. They were kinder. They were gentler. What's happened to us since? What have we lost? Just flip on the evening news for 5 minutes. You'll quickly realize that the stories are filled with violence, division, and of people who have lost the ability to truly love. And that is before you get to the political ads during the commercial breaks. We're also mindful that there are plenty of people in our community who are lost. They seek affordable housing, they seek dignity, they seek relationship. Finally, we know that we ourselves get lost sometimes. We make dumb decisions, we mistreat people, we have our eyes set on our own personal gain or promotion. It seems like the triple feature in this Sunday's gospel reminds us that we all get lost. We all mess up. That, like the sheep eating grass and getting lost, is natural. But as Howard Thurman reminds us, there's something redemptive and creative about community. Do you want to reconnect with community? Do you want to get creative in your response to the loss, both ourselves and others? Whatsoever you do Incorporated has plenty of opportunities to reach out to the lost and lonely of this community of ours. Check out our website, send an email, or make a phone call. There's plenty of opportunities. When we reach out to the lost, running to greet them as the Father did for the youngest son, then we truly will be able to say that the lost have been found. And this is a cause for great rejoicing. Have a great weekend, and God bless you.